Don't get caught up in the hype. They may not be as profitable as many try to tell you. Welcome back to another episode of the Hospitality EV Charging Minute. Welcome to the new year. We're into 2025 now, and a little bit of spin on what we're going to be doing this year as kind of Stay in Charge goes and Secure Vault goes. We are spreading our wings a little bit. We're going to get a little bit more into, outside of the standard hotel property and into commercial real estate in general, but with our, huge focus on hospitality, because that's what we do. That's what we do best. But to move it into today's episode. So one of the big questions we always get, right? Like, are these things profitable? Will they make me money? And so all of you that know me, I'm going to shoot you straight, right? I'm going to tell you exactly like it is. What I tell pretty much everybody, right? It's not if you need EV chargers, it's when you need EV chargers. So, but what I want to do is start out with some real world case studies, right? We've been doing this. We know what's going on out there. So we have a hotel properties that are generating over $12,000 a year in charging fees alone, right? So, I mean, who wouldn't mind making an extra $500-600 a month? And then, talking with them, they estimate they're probably doing another 15 to 20,000 a year in additional room nights that they wouldn't have gotten without the EV chargers. So that's the bright side, right? Then we have the bad. We have properties that make less than $1,000 a year on, make less than $1,000 a year on average. Maybe get another $2,000 in added room nights. So there are two sides of that coin, right? There always is. And so, be careful what people tell you. Now, on the apartment side, right, we'd see some of the same things. We've seen apartments in the right locations, the right apartments, get 15% higher rate for a dedicated EV charging. They lease up faster, right? Some results out there, on some real estate findings is 27% faster lease up. And it lowers turnover. So we do see that. But now we also have apartment complexes that have put these things in, and they see really no significant impact, except for, one or two happy residents that, kept complaining that they don't have EV chargers. Now, hopefully that turns into they stay longer. So you can see from the real world examples that the profitability of an EV charger at a commercial real estate property can vary greatly, and it depends on the location, the property, and so many different factors. But in the long run, okay, what we find for most of our clients is these things, they are profitable. But before we can say that, okay, we have to take a look at a few things. So first of all, for this discussion, I'm only talking about level 2 commercial real estate locations. So the level 2 chargers, not the DC fast chargers, because you get into a whole nother realm of those, and those get into, high volume, quick turnaround. And that's not what we're talking about today. We're focused today on those level 2s. So before we can really dive in, right, we got to understand, what does profitable mean, right? So for me, the way I've always looked at it, the basic definition would be, do you generate more revenue than cost, and does it provide enough additional revenue to provide a payback on your initial investment? Now, where all that comes from and what those parameters are going to vary by everybody. Like, some people say, hey, I just want them in, make my guests happy, and if I get my money back over 5 years, I'm happy. Others want that money returned back in 12 months. So we have to take that into consideration when you do, how you define profitability. In addition to that part, you have to look at it in two different ways as well. So the EV charging we're talking about today is obviously only supplemental charging to other services. If you have an apartment complex, this is supplemental. What your real business is renting apartments. If you have a hotel, your real business is heads and beds, and your primary revenue comes from the overnight fees. If you're a retail store, your primary business is selling products, not EV charging. So when you look at your EV charging to determine what profitable means, you need to decide, are you considering just the EV charging, or the other items that come along with that, like the added room nights, the higher rent that you can charge, the more customers that show up at your retail store. Things like that need to be considered as well, because those do impact profitability if you want to look at them. So you need to define your own terms for profitability and make your own, conclusions on that. They will provide you revenue. They will attract guests and customers and clients and tenants and all that stuff. They do everything that they say. The level at which they do that is going to depend on where you're located and and many other factors, from the type of property you have and the type of customers you typically get. So you have to kind of put that all together and for yourself define, what does profitability mean for you, for your property. We've got some people that are happy as can be, that have a hotel that are getting 15, 16, 18 room nights every month because of EV chargers. And it's, some of them are getting the same people coming back again and again. So to them, right, that's profitable. They don't even, some don't even care what they're making out of the charging side. So you have to determine for yourself what profitability means. But I also want to share a little bit of some consumer insights, right? So that to help you decide, is it profitable? Because one thing about EV charging, it's kind of like a lost leader at a convenience store or at the grocery store, where they're going to put something on sale to get the customer there. So the big thing that we always try to make sure everybody understands is when these are supplemental to your other services, part of what they are is the attraction magnet, right? They're the draw to bring people into your location. So what's important with that is to understand some of the consumer insights that are going on out there. So recent studies done by not us, but by others, show that 72% of EV drivers are saying that they choose hotels because they have EV chargers. So that's 72% of that small market of EV drivers, right? Like not everybody out there is driving an EV today, but 72% of those that do are going to choose a hotel for EV charging. So do you want to be in front of those people? 65% of renters consider it a highly desirable amenity, whether they have EVs or not, right? So that was, the thing that came out in this. They still think it's a highly desirable amenity. So sooner or later, those become must-haves, right? Like today, they're kind of nice to haves, but they will be necessities in the future. So there's also, things to look at when you're looking at that, like what's the impact on your property level, and that's going to depend a lot on your location, kind of the EV penetration in your market, and any competition around you, right? If you have a hotel, you're at an exit off a highway, and there's 6 other hotels there, and the 5 other hotels all have big banks of EV charging. You putting them in, it may not make the same return on investment as it would for somebody putting them in where there's no competition. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't put them in, because you could be losing your customers, your regular customers, to those others. So make sure that you understand the consumer insights that are out there, and people are looking for these. The penetration of EVs continues to grow. So as more and more EVs hit the road, more and more people are going to be looking for these stations. So they will become more demand, more drive, more usage. So the short answer is an absolute yes. EV stations are profitable. But I preface that with when done properly. Okay. I have talked to many commercial owners that are not profitable with their EV charging. Like they can't even, they've made all this investment, and they're looking at it saying, man, I'm not even making, enough money to pay this thing back in 10 years. Hopefully that all changes as more penetration gets there. But what some have happened to them is they've installed too much. They let somebody talk them into putting 6 or 8 chargers in, and now they're trying to recoup too much of an upfront expense for the current demand. So to make them profitable, you want to make sure that you plan it properly and match the solution to your needs, right? Make sure that you meet what's unique to your property. So when they're done properly, they are absolutely profitable. They bring additional revenue to you. They do so many things to help your property stand out and increase the value of it. So yes, the short answer is they are profitable, but do them right. So the steps to take to do this right is make sure you're doing what works for your property, right? So start and define what is success for you up front. Okay. Is success for you just having a few more people show up every month because you have chargers? Or is it that you want to actually get out and market these chargers and generate some revenue from people using them? Because it's all possible, but make sure you start from the right standpoint, that you understand what success is going to be for you. What are your your priorities here? What are the goals that you want for your EV charging solution, so that you can then find the right solution that fits you? So if you want more information, or want to kick this around with any one of our team members, just reach out, sales@stayincharge.com. We'll be glad to talk to you more about this. Hope this information helps you better understand EV charging. See you next time.